The board will now come to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderman Cone. Alderman Narayan. Alderman Balmer. Alderwoman Velazquez. Alderwoman Sanye. Alderwoman Spencer. Alderman Browning. Acting President Clark Hubbard.
Here.
Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Tyus. Alderwoman Boyd. Alderman Aldridge. President Green. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderman Cone. Alderwoman Velazquez. Alderwoman Sanye. Alderwoman Keys. Alderwoman Tyus. President Green. 9 present, you have quorum.
A quorum being present, we will now be led in an opening prayer by Pastor Dr. Kim Gaines, St. Louis City Coordinator of National Day of Prayer Task Force and founder of Speak to the City.
Good morning. Dear God, we thank you so much for this day, God. I thank you for all of these great leaders that you've given us. Thank you for this system that you've given us that allows every faction and every demographic of our city to be represented by individuals of their choosing. And now, Father, in these proceedings, we ask you to give them wisdom, give them direction, give them understanding, cause each one to hear with a heart of love and openness, to remember at all times during these proceedings that there are no opponents, but only teammates. We are one team working for one city. St. Louis is one people under you. And so we thank you, Father, that everything that you plan and purpose for our great city will be accomplished today. There'll be no difficulties, no hindrances, no misunderstandings. Thank you that each will be heard, each will be clearly articulated and received. Thank you for that bridges will be built and not torn down, and that in all of these things, Father, you will be glorified, you will be honored, and it will be known and noted that you are moving in our city. We thank you, Father, that even now you are protecting and ministering to the hearts and the lives of each of these individuals, and that you pour back into them as a result of all that they pour out for our city, that you take care of their homes as they take care of the city. You minister healing and health to their bodies and peace to their minds and restoration, that their financial needs are taken care of individually as they also take care of the financial needs of this city and every demographic in this city. And Father, we thank you and recognize the sacrifice they make in serving in this city. And so we just ask you to bless them, as you said in your word, he that waters shall be watered, and that you will make happen for them what they make happen for others. So we thank you that even as they are serving, as they're pouring out, as they are doing your will in this city, they are not forgotten. And then we thank you that you confirm your word with signs following, Father, that as the decisions that they make good success, that it is known that you have done it. And we thank you for it all. We give you glory in Jesus' name. We bless you. Amen.
We will dispense with the regular order of business to take up special order of the day. Alderman from the 14th, and Ms. Brown and your family, you may come to the dais. Madam Clerk, please read Resolution 143 honoring Deputy Marshal Tony Brown, and if there are any other marshals here, you all can come up as well.
Resolution 143 honoring Deputy Marshal Tony L. Brown. Whereas it has come to the attention of the Board of Aldermen of the City of St. Louis of the passing of Deputy Marshal Tony L. Brown on September 22nd, 2023. Whereas Tony was born in St. Louis, Missouri on November 29th, 1981, to Marilyn Brown and Michael Kent. He was one of 7 siblings. Jason, Christian, Nicholas, Joshua, Lanika, and LaShonda. And whereas he attended Lindbergh High School, graduated in 2000, and playing nose tackle on the football team. Whereas he was working on a degree in business and criminal justice from Southern New Hampshire University at the time of his passing. Whereas Tony served the city of St. Louis as a deputy marshal for 4 years. He loved and was passionate about his job despite how stressful it could be. Whereas he was funny, selfless, and a hard worker. Tony loved all things electronic, especially his virtual reality games. And whereas Tony's favorite hobby was tuning into wrestling entertainment, he was a big fan that he wore a replica championship belt while watching. Whereas Tony left behind his beloved wife, Laura, and his daughters, Caitlin, Madeline, and Sophia. Tony loved his family, they were his best friends, and he put them before all others. And whereas he was a man of few words but touched many lives, Tony will be forever missed. Now, therefore, let it be resolved by the Board of Aldermen of the City of St. Louis that we pause and honor and reflect upon the life of Deputy Marshal Tony L. Brown, and by the adoption of this resolution, wish to join in those celebrating his life. We further direct the Clerk of the Board of Aldermen to spread a copy of this resolution across the minutes of the proceeding and prepare a commemorative copy to the end that it may be presented to the honoree at a time and place deemed appropriate by the sponsor. Introduced by the Honorable Shameen Clark Hubbard, the 10th Ward Alderwoman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, for reading that resolution. To the family of Mr. Brown, we wanted to, on behalf of Alderwoman Clark Hubbard and the rest of the Board of Aldermen, wanted to give this resolution to you all for sharing Mr. Brown with us here at the board. I've always had the pleasure, as I come through the back, park my car and come in and see him, or see him in the front. He always was just very kind, very gentle, and very sweet. To hear he's a WWE fan, I am too. Watch wrestling every Friday and every Monday. Again, on behalf of the board, we are sorry for the loss, and again are so thankful that we had the opportunity to share the moments that we did with Mr. Brown as he kept us safe, like the many other marshals here that keeps the City Hall safe, and would love for you to come up if you want to say a few words.
I'll just cry. But I appreciate it.
No problem. Again, we just want to, like I say, thank you on behalf of the Board of Aldermen.
Yes, he definitely deserves that. And so I didn't know if any of the other marshals, I see our top marshal here, Shanklin, and came back for us for this celebration. Like Alderman from the 14th said, Tony was special to all of us, especially when we would go in and out through the back. And sometimes he would be on the floor with us too. We had some eyes we used to make at each other to try to get through some of the meetings, and that was fun. But what's very important for you all to know is that your dad was like a hero, an unsung hero here down at City Hall. A lot of unsung heroes down at City Hall that make these days go by and make this world down here go round. And without them and without acknowledging them, I think we would be remiss. So thank you so much for taking this opportunity. I didn't know if any of my colleagues had anything that they wanted to share. Alderman from the 4th.
Thank you, Madam Floor Leader. I just want to make sure that this resolution is put forward in bank.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. Right. All right, we'll go ahead and go into introduction of any honored guests. Introduction to any honored guests, I'll start. I would like to have as my honored guest the men of Omega Psi Phi fraternity. It's their Founders Day. Happy Founders Day to Omega Psi Phi. All right, let's hear it. So we have some Omegas in the room. I see Reverend Gray, and I see one over here. And also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention my Omega man, my husband, Rodney Hubbard, and Kevin Bailey, who, again, talk about people that make things go, the world go round down here, is an Omega also. Any other introduction to honor guests? Okay. Alderwoman from the 13th.
I would like to recognize St. Louis Public School and their fight that they're having in regards to the issues that's going on with our schools and with, that's all. I'm sorry.
Alderman from the 14th.
Thank you, Madam President. As my honor guest, as usual, I would like to introduce Fifth Ward resident, or Fifth Ward, 14th Ward resident, Sheriff of the City of St. Louis, Vernon Betts, as well as Reverend Gray. He is the chairman of the Detention Facility Oversight Board, as well as our SEIU family that's in the building that fights hard every single day to ensure that plenty of our workers throughout the St. Louis region are represented when it comes to fair wages, fair contracts, and always stand up for them. As a former Fight for 15 member and former union organizer with SEIU, it's an honor to have you guys here, and just so thankful for all the work that you do for all the workers throughout the city of St. Louis. So thank you.
All right. Alderman from the 14th, you are recognized on the approval of the minutes from Thursday, November 9th, 2023.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to move to approve the minutes from Thursday, November 9th, 2023.
Okay. It has been moved by the Alderman from the 14th, seconded by the Alderperson from the 6th, that we approve the minutes from Thursday, November 9th, 2023. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Report of city officials.
Report of city officials can be found in A, B, and C of the agenda and has been placed in a Google Drive for your review. Dear members of the board, I have the pleasure to submit the following individuals for appointment to the 2019 Grant Center CID. The reappointment of Cynthia Shun, the reappointment of John Wolf, the reappointment of Julie Plowman, the reappointment of Scott Jennings, and the appointment of Brooks Gettiger. I respectfully request your approval of these appointments. Sincerely, to Shara O. Jones.
Alderwoman from the 11th, you are recognized on Mayor Jones' appointments to the 2019 Grand Center Community Improvement District.
Okay, I got it. Good morning, and thank you, Madam Chair, for today. Thank you. I'm asking on behalf of the Mayor's office for the appointment of the persons aforementioned for the 2019 Grand Center Community Improvement District. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 11th and seconded by the Alderman of the 14th that we approve Mayor Jones' appointments to the 2019 Grand Center Community Improvement District. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Dear members of the board, I have the pleasure to submit the following individual for appointment to the Plumbers and Layers Board of Examiners. The appointment of Andre Taylor. I respectfully request your approval of this appointment. Sincerely, to Shara O. Jones, Mayor.
Alderman from the 4th, you are recognized on Mayor Jones' appointments to the Plumbers and Drain Layers Board of Examiners.
Thank you. I move that we approve Andre Taylor to the Board of Plumbers and Drain Layers Board of Examiners.
It has been moved by Alderman from the 4th and seconded by the Alderman from the 9th that we approve Mayor Jones's appointments to the Plumbers and Drain Layers Board of Examiners. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's the extent of report of city officials.
Please dispense with line item number 8. Does anyone want to take any bills or resolutions off of any of our informal calendar? We will dispense with line item 9, 10, and 11, first reading of board bills.
Board Bill 161, sponsored by Alderwoman Spencer, an ordinance establishing distance requirement for locating comprehensive or medical marijuana cultivating facilities, comprehensive or medical dispensaries, marijuana-infused products, manufacturing facilities, and marijuana testing facilities near elementary and secondary schools, and for locating all marijuana facilities near daycare facilities. Board Bill 162, sponsored by Alderwoman Sanye, an ordinance approving a redevelopment plan dated September 29, 2023 for 3101 through 3115 South Jefferson Avenue and 2614 through 2624 Arsenal Street area. Board Bill 163, sponsored by Alderwoman Keys, an ordinance repealing ordinance number 71466, 71467, and 71405, which established liquor control district for the former 3rd, 18th, and 21st wards, which now overlap the current 11th ward, and establish a new district within the boundaries of the 11th ward, the 11th ward liquor control district, prohibiting the issuance of any packaged liquor or drink licenses for any currently non-licensed premises, the transfer existing licenses within the boundaries of the 11th ward for a period of 5 years, beginning from the effective date of this ordinance. That's the extent of first reading of board bills.
Reference to committee.
To the HUD's Committee, Board Bill 161 and 162. To Transportation and Commerce, Board Bill 163. That's the extent of reference to committee.
Second reading and report of standing committees.
The following board bills were reported out of HUD's Committee with a due pass recommendation. Board Bill 130, Committee sub-sponsored by Alderwoman Spencer, an ordinance approving a redevelopment plan dated June 3rd, 2022 for the Locust Street, North 6th Street, Pine Street, and North 7th Street area. Board Bill 137, sponsored by Alderman Cone, an ordinance approving a redevelopment plan dated August 23rd, 2023 for 4132 South Compton Avenue area. Board Bill 138, sponsored by Alderwoman Keys, an ordinance approving a redevelopment plan dated July 26, 2023 for 3041 Locust Boulevard area. The following board bill was reported out of the Budget and Public Employee Committee with the due pass recommendation. Board Bill 141 as amended, sponsored by Alderwoman Schweitzer and the following alderpersons: Keys, Browning, Clark Hubbard, Sanye, Boyd, Aldrich, Narayan, Velazquez, and Oldenburg. An ordinance pertaining to the creation and administration of a property tax credit for eligible senior taxpayers residing in the city of St. Louis. The following board bills were reported out of the Public Infrastructure and Utilities Committee with the due pass recommendation. Board Bill 145, sponsored by Alderwoman Boyd, an ordinance directing the Director of Streets to install speed humps at 7 locations on the 5,000 block of Beacon Avenue pursuant to ordinance number 70333 as amended by ordinance number 71394. Board Bill 159, sponsored by Alderwoman Schweitzer, pursuant to ordinance number 70333 as amended by ordinance number 71394, an ordinance directing the Director of Streets to install speed humps to calm the flow of traffic on various blocks in the first ward. That's the extent of second reading report of standing committees.
Report of special committees.
We have none.
Please dispense with line item 15, board bills for perfection consent.
Board Bill 157, sponsored by Alderwoman Clark Hubbard and Alderwoman Sanye, a board bill recommended by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment authorizing the City of St. Louis through its Community Development Administration to enter into and execute an agreement to accept the Environmental Protection Agency funds awarded pursuant to fiscal year 2023 Brownsfield's grant competition in the amount of $500,000 containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 153, sponsored by Alderwoman Tyus, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service to conditionally vacate above surface, surface, and subsurface rights for vehicle, equestrian, and pedestrian travel at Clarence from Natural Bridge to Lexington as bounded by Natural Bridge, Clarence, Lexington, and Newstead in the city of St. Louis, Missouri, as hereinafter described in accordance with Charter Authority and in conformity with Section 1.4, Article 21 of the Charter, and imposing certain conditions on such vacation. That's the extent of board bills for perfection consent calendar.
Alderman from the 14th, you are recognized on the motion to adopt the board bills for perfection consent calendar.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to make the motion that we adopt the board bills on perfection consent calendar.
It's been moved by Alderman from the 14th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th, that we adopt the Board Bills for Perfection consent calendar. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Board Bills for Perfection.
We have none.
Please dispense with line item 16B, Report of Engrossment.
Board Bill 140, 142, 139, 107 floor sub, and 93 floor sub.
Third reading and final passage of Board Bills consent.
Board Bill 140, 142, 139, and 107 floor sub.
Alderman from the 14th, you're recognized on the motion to adopt the third reading and final passage of Board Bills consent calendar.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make the motion that we adopt the third reading and final passage of the Board Bill consent calendar.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 14th and seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th that we adopt the third reading and final passage of Board Bill consent calendar. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderman Cone. Alderman Narayan. Alderman Balmer. Alderwoman Velazquez.
Aye.
Alderwoman Sanye. Alderwoman Spencer. Alderman Browning. Acting President Clark Hubbard. Alderwoman Keys.
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus. Alderwoman Boyd. Alderman Aldridge. President Green. Alderman Cone. Alderwoman Tyus. President Green. 12 aye votes.
By your vote, you have sustained the motion from the Alderman from the 14th and have third read and finally passed the aforementioned bills. Third reading and final passage of Board Bills.
Board Bill 93 floor sub, sponsored by Alderman Aldridge, President Green, Alderwoman Schweitzer, Alderman Cone, Alderman Narayan, Alderwoman Velazquez, and Alderwoman Sanye. An ordinance amending ordinance number 71430, requiring member orientation and member training for the COB and DFOB, allowance for independent legal counsel with certain provisions, and requiring specific entities to appear before the COB or DFOB only when their presence could potentially interfere with criminal or civil proceedings, and containing an emergency clause.
Alderman from the 14th, you are recognized on the third reading and final passage of Board Bill 93, floor substitute.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that we adopt Board Bill 93, floor substitute.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 14th and seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th that we third read and final pass Board Bill 93, floor substitute. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderman Oldenburg. Alderman Cone. Alderman Narayan. Alderman Balmer. Alderwoman Velazquez.
Aye.
Alderwoman Sanye. Alderwoman Spencer. Alderman Browning. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Aye.
Alderwoman Keys.
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus. Alderwoman Boyd. Alderman Aldridge. President Green. Alderman Cone. Alderwoman Spencer. Alderwoman Tyus. President Green. Alderman Cone. Alderwoman Spencer. Alderwoman Tyus, President Green. 12 aye votes.
By your vote, you have sustained the motion from the Alderman from the 14th and have third read and finally passed the Board Bill 93, floor substitute. Report of finally passed and signing by President.
Board Bill 140, 142, 139, 107 floor sub, and 93 floor sub.
All other business being suspended, the acting president shall in open session affix her signature hereto to the end that these may become law. First reading of resolutions in reference to committees.
Resolution 157, sponsored by Alderwoman Spencer, solidarity with Aramark janitors at Anheuser-Busch.
Alderwoman from the 8th, you are recognized on the first reading of Resolution 157.
Thank you, Acting Madam President, members of the board. I move that for unanimous consent of Resolution 157.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Resolution 157.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the second. Seconded by Alderman from the 4th. Now you may. Oh, I'm sorry. Seconded by Alderman from the 9th. Hearing no objection, you may proceed.
Thank you, Acting Madam President. Resolution 157 is a resolution standing in support and solidarity with the folks who are janitors for Aramark and working at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. What we're doing, these folks are looking to unionize, many of whom are not receiving the same level of benefits that their hard work deserves. I want to point out too, that Anheuser-Busch is one of our largest employers here in the city of St. Louis and have a long history of supporting union labor and organized labor in a general sense. They have been incredible employers to several thousand employees here in the city of St. Louis, most of whom are in a union of some kind. They employ 5,000 Teamsters who work across the United States. And here in the city of St. Louis, I believe actually in the nation, Anheuser-Busch has more Teamsters than any other brewery in the United States, which is really quite incredible. And so, we are standing in support of the janitorial staff for Aramark. These are Aramark employees, not Anheuser-Busch employees, but they do work at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery, and we are standing in support of those folks to unionize and to receive and enjoy the benefits that they deserve for the hard work that they do, producing some of the best beer, helping the Anheuser-Busch Brewery produce some of the best beer that our world knows. And with that, I apologize, I had just a little personal emergencies before this, so I'm a little bit flustered, but this is really an important measure, and I'm honored to represent the brewery, the Teamsters, and of course the hardworking folks who make the brewery a safe place to work.
Thank you, Alderwoman from the 8th. I will say that your fluster became my fluster because that's what happens when mothers are in the room. You run like that, I was thinking something was going on with your baby. So we do need to go back before we go into discussion. It was moved, you want to move to adopt this resolution, right?
I would move to adopt this resolution. Thank you.
Okay, so it was moved by Alderwoman from the 8th, seconded by the Alderperson from the 9th, that we move Resolution 157. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
After this, opposed, motion carries. Any discussion? Alderman from the 5th.
Okay, I'm maybe somewhat confused. These janitors are employees of Aramark, and they have been hired as a, by the brewery. So Anheuser-Busch is hiring Aramark's janitors as a subcontractor. Should Aramark not be, Aramark should be the one unionizing these people in my mindset, because these people, Anheuser-Busch is writing a check to Aramark, and Aramark is paying these janitors. So these janitors to unionize should be by Aramark, not by the brewery, is my understanding.
You are absolutely right. And I have to say, I mean, this is really an issue with Aramark rather than Anheuser-Busch Brewery. And as
Yeah,
I
so
pointed out, I know Anheuser-Busch has been a great employer of unionized labor and a great supporter of unionized labor for the 150 years that it's been around, Alderman. So really, this is really an issue with Aramark. They just happen to be working at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. And furthermore, Aramark has many unionized employees throughout the United States. So really, this is, we're calling on Aramark to treat these employees here in the city of St. Louis like many other of their employers and employees in other cities. Thank you for the opportunity to clarify.
Well, yeah, just having the wonderful relationship I do with Anheuser-Busch for many years. To disclose, I am a firm believer in their product.
And a firm drinker.
That the onus here is directly on Aramark and not the brewery.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much for clarifying.
All right. Alderman from the 14th.
Thank you, Madam President and members of the board. I want to thank the Alderwoman from the 8th Ward for bringing this very important resolution, and appreciate the Alderman from the 5th kind of clarifying that we are calling on Aramark to unionize their workers, but understanding that maybe Anheuser-Busch can have some leverage and pressure to also reach out to Aramark, knowing that AB is a very friendly beer drinking industry, to also use their pressure to call on Aramark Company to allow the workers to unionize. Like I stated earlier in my introduction, as I introduced SEIU, this is an important fight. This board always stands with labor. We've took up many other labor resolutions because this board believes in fair wages and believe in the right for workers to be able to unionize. So I commend you on your leadership, Alderwoman from the 8th Ward, on this. And with that, Madam President, I'd like to make a motion that we embank this resolution.
Hearing an objection, would you like to have your name added as a co-sponsor?
Yes, Madam President, yes, Madam President, I would like to add my name as a co-sponsor, and I would encourage all my colleagues to do the same.
I see Alderwoman from the 1st would like her name added, Alderman from the 9th, Alderwoman from the 7th, Alderwoman from the 11th, and now I would open up to Alderman from the 4th.
Thank you, Madam President. Just want to say real quick that anyone who's ever gone through the brewing process in any fashion knows that the only way to come out with a quality product is by having absolute cleanliness around everything that you're doing, or else you just end up with a terrible product. As the Alderman from the 11th knows, AB puts out solid products, and I have to imagine that's as a result of keeping sanitary environments throughout the brewing facilities. I know that I enjoy the products, and it's as a result of the work that you guys are putting in on the front end. And so I certainly want my name added as a co-sponsor, and I want to thank you guys for all the work you do for everyone who enjoys a cold one in the afternoons. Thanks.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please add Alderwoman from the 13th, Alderwoman from the 6th, and myself.
So noted. Resolution 159, sponsored by Alderwoman Sanye, priority challenges for the RAM settlement.
Alderwoman from the 7th, you are recognized on the first reading of Resolution 159.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to ask for this resolution sent to the Legislation and Rules Committee.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Please assign Resolution 159 to the Legislation and Rules Committee. Second reading of resolutions, committee reports, and adoptions.
Report from the Health and Human Development Committee, the reappointment to the Development Disabilities Resources Commission, Sherry Webermeyer and William Seedoff.
Alderwoman from the 8th, you are recognized on Mayor Jones' reappointments to the Development Resources Commission.
Thank you, Madam President. I move for the reappointment, that we adopt the reappointments of both Sherry Wibbenmeyer and William Seedoff to the Disabilities Resource Commission.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 8th, seconded by the Alderman, it's been moved by the Alderwoman from the 8th, seconded by the Alderman from the 5th, that we approve Mayor's appointments to the Development Disabilities Resources Commission. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Courtesy resolutions. Oh, I'm sorry, Alderman from the 5th.
On the courtesy resolutions, I asked to be added as a co-sponsor to Resolution 156.
Thank you. Alderman from the 14th, you are recognized on the motion to adopt the courtesy resolutions consent calendar.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make the motion that we adopt the courtesy resolution consent calendar.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 14th and seconded by the Alderman from the 5th that we adopt the courtesy resolution calendar. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Miscellaneous and unfinished business.
We have none.
Please dispense with line item 23, announcements.
Thursday, November 23rd, 2023, the office will be closed for Thanksgiving holiday. Friday, November 24th, 2023, the office will be closed for Thanksgiving holiday. That's the extent of the announcements.
Thank you. Alderman from the 14th.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I would like to make an announcement and give a thank you to several people that has been part of key legislation that this board just passed. Reverend Gray, Chairman of the DFOB board, yourself, Madam Chair, Alderwoman Sonye, Alderman Narayan, the OGs of the world like Mr. Kennedy for his input, Mama Jamala Rogers, John Chasnoff, and I'll be remiss if I didn't give a huge shout out to the hard worker that made that bill real possible, Ms. Janika Hayden from the President Office. This has been a long time coming. As we know down at the board, legislation isn't perfect, but the goal that we try to accomplish with that piece of legislation is just to make it a little better. And I'm committed to continuing to work on it to try to only strengthen it more. And I just, again, want to thank all those people that came to the table. We had countless meetings, and we had many conversations about it. And I also want to thank again, the clerk, if I didn't say it loud enough, because he is one of our many elders who continue to, especially as a young person, pour into me and continue to, and been pouring into me for a long time and mentoring me for a while. But thank you for your leadership. And again, thank you, Mama Jamal and John Chasnoff, to be able to get the board bill finally passed. Thank you.
Alderwoman from the 11th.
Oh, thank you so much, Acting Madam Chair. And I think you deserve a round of applause for today, this being your first time. And I feel the jitters that you have. So I want to just acknowledge you for being our showrunner today. Thank you so much. So I would like to announce that tomorrow at the O'Fallon Rec Center between 2 and 6 p.m., there will be a turkey giveaway, but there will also be various community resources available. I know that the Urban League is also doing a turkey giveaway. So it looks like this year, not too many people are going to have to buy a turkey. And for that, I am very grateful to both of the offices of the Urban League as well as the Office of Violence Prevention. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Alderwoman from the 7th.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. The recent event that ARJ Community Center had went fabulous. I want to make sure that I thank Metro High School, we were able to get about 40 students who came and volunteered, and we were able to serve 250 families, maybe more. That's where it was when I left. And get them full Thanksgiving meals, including turkeys. And then I also want to make sure that I announce that Cherokee Thanksgiving is coming up this Tuesday from 6 to 10 p.m. It's a very big event every year. I'm excited for the first time to be the alder of it, and just make sure that I invite all of the community to that.
Y'all know I'm out.
Alderwoman from the 13th.
She's looking at her side view. See. I wanted to recognize an organization that's trying to keep the momentum going for a person that was really committed to the city as a whole. Tomorrow, we will start the process with the Demetrius Johnson Foundation at the church, the Union Church across the street from the old West End Community Center. And so we'll be putting the bags together so we can get ready to distribute the bags to the families. They're really trying to make sure that they do not stop the vision that Demetrius Johnson had. And his main focus was to ensure that the place where he grew up in the Peabody Projects, those people were served. And so they will make sure that those people are served, and they are asking everybody in the community to come together to put those bags together so they can start distributing, hand delivering those to those families. Thank you.
Alderwoman from the 6th.
Just one announcement about another Thanksgiving event happening this weekend. The International Institute is hosting its Thanksgiving of First, so a Thanksgiving for people who might be first experiencing the holiday. That is from 4 to 6 p.m. on Sunday.
Alderwoman from the 13th.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's just too much going on. When I tell you too much, too much. I'll be glad when the day after Thanksgiving is here so we can calm down to get ready for the craziness for Christmas. But the acting chair president just informed me, because I knew I had to be there 2 days. They'll put the bags together tonight at the Union Temple Church across from the West End Center, and then tomorrow we will distribute the bags. Thank you. Thank you for helping
No
me.
problem. Any other announcements? Alderman from the 14th, you are recognized on the motion to excuse.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to make the motion that we excuse Alderman from the 3rd, the Alderwoman from the 12th, and President Green.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 14th and seconded by the Alderwoman from the 7th that we excuse the Alderperson from the 3rd, the 12th, and President Green for necessary absence. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Alderman from the 14th, you are recognized on the motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Madam President and members of the board. I would like to make a motion that we adjourn until Friday, December 1st, 2023, in the Kennedy Room for a full board meeting.
Second.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 14th, seconded from the Alderwoman from the 11th that we adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? No. Motion carries. We're adjourned. Have a blessed day.